Welcome to the Sports Entrepreneur Show powered by the Ninja Zone, the only podcast for sports entrepreneurs that gives you an inside look into what it takes to turn your passion for sports into a business. Hello, sports entrepreneurs. Casey here, back recording another episode for you guys. I think that there are a lot of you out there that are really going to enjoy today's episode. And I'm sure that you saw the title, Financial IQ. So I think I have the people with money on their mind listening right now, unless you're, of course, binge listening. But I think that there are two kinds of people in the world. People that want more money and people that need more money. Am I right? Yeah. So I am of the belief that money is simply a tool. It's a tool that makes great people greater, and it's a tool that makes not so great people worse. So in turn, by increasing my financial intelligence, I can do more good with more money. I know I'm a good person. I know that I can do good things with wealth, and I want to be able to do those things. So I have recently been reading and kind of just basically setting a goal for myself that I need to have a higher financial intelligence. Once I started diving into some of this stuff and I realized how much I don't know. It's like the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know. So I have this new hallway of doors of things that I need to learn about, not only about money, but how all the different ways that I can use money to give back to the world and achieve my dreams. So today's episode is called Financial IQ, and I'm going to be referencing quite a bit of Robert Kiyosaki. My husband first turned me on to Robert Kiyosaki years ago. He wrote a pretty famous book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if you haven't read it, it's kind of one of those staples. I think everybody needs to read it. It truly gives two different perspectives on money. He talks about the way his rich dad looked at money and the way his poor dad looked at money. And basically his rich dad was like his neighbor, his friend's dad. But he refers in his book series and all of his education about his rich dad and his poor dad. So I read that book years ago, but he has a lot of other books out. And I've recently dove into a couple of them. And that's kind of what I want to share with you guys today, are just some bullet points and some things that really opened my eyes. And hopefully it will do the same for you. So we'll jump right in. Most recently, I read Increase Your Financial IQ by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about the 5 financial IQs. And I think that these understanding that there are 5 different ways that you can get better in understanding your money situation, it really breaks it down to a much more tangible level. And that's also where I realized where my holes were, right? So the first of the 5 are, number 1, making money, right? Can you come up with creative ideas? Can you sell things? Can you sell a good or a service? Mostly in this industry, it's going to be a service that people are willing to pay for. I think that's the first thing that entrepreneurs, they're pretty good at, right? You can come up with something to sell somebody. And usually that's the thing that we do know how to do pretty well, is to make money. That's going to be the P side of your P&L, right? What are those creative ideas? What are those ways that you can create revenue streams, different revenue streams for your business? And that is the number one of the 5 financial IQs. Number 2 is protecting your money. And this comes down to tax planning, a whole lot of tax planning, a whole lot of protecting it from financial predators, as he refers to it. So people maybe wanting to come in and help you with your money situation. It could be a financial planner in terms of retirement, 401ks, insurance, all of those things. And basically, after I pass number 1 on making money, I get to number 2 and protecting my money. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I need to increase my intelligence. And so that is number 2, is how to protect your money. And he lists, several different ways in terms of like what I just mentioned, taxes and planning for the future, the way that people will come in and take the money that you've earned in number 1. Number 3 is budgeting. And again, I think we can always, always, always get better at this. I used to think budgeting was kind of it's like, but if it's all goes in and out of one pot, what's the difference? Why does it matter if we're budgeting for different sections of our business? And this is something that recently has really come into play. We are building a new facility here in Westfield, and it's a really big project for us. It's a much bigger build than we've ever done, and we're adding additional programs. And basically, budgeting is getting really, really crucial. And not only is it crucial from the standpoint of having a spending plan and making sure that you're not spending more money than you have, but it really comes down to how you're budgeting not only your money, your resources, and then setting those clear expectations for your staff and the people that you hire so that you can make sure you have the best, you have the fastest route possible to achieving your goals. So for example, we have multiple different programs. If each of those programs doesn't have their own budget, you can see how it can really, really throw off the total kitty.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening to The Sports Entrepreneur, powered by Ninja Zone. Read the show notes, download bonus content, sign up to get the latest updates and more by visiting thesportsentrepreneur.com. And we'd love it if you followed us on Facebook and rated us on iTunes. Do you have a topic or guest idea? Email us at podcast@theninjazone.com. See you next week for more insights, tactics, and tools